My chick bad, my chick hood, my chick do stuff that your chick wish she could. My chick bad, my chick hood. Hey everybody, welcome to the Pissed Rhino show. I am currently disassembling my Trx4m to put in some underdrive and overdrive gears. So in the rear, I am putting a 1024, I believe it's 10. I can't even see it right now. There we go. It is impossible to read, but I think it's a 1024. That's what I'll be putting in the rear, and then to overdrive the front, I will be doing a 1322 or a 1222. 1222. So this spins faster, and actually the 12. Yeah, that's gotta be right. So this is the 1222. And you got a 10. Oh, so yeah, so the 1024 is underdriven and the 1222 is overdriven. So that goes in the front. This goes in the back. These are Injora, so we don't know how long they'll last, but we're gonna work with them. So I was taking off the wheels because I feel, I don't know, I need to take the wheels off. I think I'm gonna maybe put some weights in the front while I wait on my other wheels. Or not wheels, but tires. So I had ordered the LG RP. I've got the Trail Kings, and then I just ordered the Trench Kings, which I got, and you guys saw. And I wasn't liking how they're going together. Not to say they're a bad tire, but what I was trying to do was not working at all. And of course, what I was trying to do is not what they were meant for. But I know it works in the Swamp Kings, so I ordered myself another set of Swamp Kings. And we will put those on the wheels with weights as soon as I get here. So I was thinking about putting some weights in these Injora 1.3s. So it's got the brass weight in it now, but man, it doesn't weigh anything. So if I put that in it, this should help. So I'm going to do that, put those in the front. So the next few days is going to be nothing but Trx4m work. The Red Cat Ascent, man, I have went down such a rabbit hole. I don't know, I got so many ways to go, and I just don't know which way to go. I've got links, I think, figured out. But I have a very expensive carbon fiber chassis coming, made by DMS, I think. Yeah, I think it's DMS because I keep making fun of it because it's like DMX. But then see if I can show you this stuff tearing up all my shit. So this is a carbon fiber chassis I found online for the SCX10 Pro, and I think I can convert it to do what I want it to do. So either I can convert this and use these links that I've made, which I've made them adjustable, which I'll probably do a whole show on this. But I took the links and all I did was put nuts on them before I put the ends on them. And now they're fully adjustable and you can tighten them wherever you need them to go so that they stay in the right position. I thought that was pretty cool. I've never seen anybody do that, but I did it and it looks really nice. What else? That's it for that. I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm kind of upset with it. I've got so many freaking options. I've got like 3 more sets of links coming, and I don't know which one's going to work best. Like I said, I've got another chassis coming, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's a pain in my ass, and I'm taking a break from it right now because it's just too much thought process. My NSDRC interior. See, I got NSDRC on the back of the seats. Wonder if can I get that to come in there? I don't know. But then I got it on the back as well. Anywho, I thought that was funny. So it looks like the first thing I need to do is I need to remove my little skid plates. Now everybody gave me shit about these. Well, actually nobody gave me shit about them, but I see everybody giving other people shit about using these skid plates, saying they'll get hung up. But guys, I don't know how they could hang up any more than the aluminum. The aluminum drive shafts. Because, you know, metal's metal. I mean, aluminum's softer, sure, it might rip off more, but I guess to me, I lost the wheel. And this is a pain in the ass. I guess to me, I would rather have a chance of it hanging up, since I don't comp crawl every day. Plus, like I said, the Ripper is really not a comp crawler. But I'd much rather protect my axles with these skid plates than I would just to lose a diff cover or destroy the bottom of my axle. So I use them. I haven't had an issue using them. So thanks for everybody's concern, but they work just fine. Oh, it's a tedious little process, isn't it? I don't even know if you can see what I'm doing. I need to move that. Anyway, so I removed this diff cover. Oh, and now, or not diff cover, but skid plate, sorry. And now I have to remove the top ones. It might just be best to take this off. or at least disconnect it from the shocks. Great thing about these Treal portals is you can remove all the necessary screws without having to take the ends off of them, without having to do a whole bunch of anything. So it's easy just to take out a couple screws. On the Mias, it depends on what you're taking off. You take shocks off easy, but then the links are stuck behind and you have to take the whole friggin' knuckle off. So all I'm doing is taking out the bottom shock screws. And now I have a good access, I think, to the upper screws on the diff cover. Get these things out of the way. Of course, it's a 1-3 since it's it's hard for me to see that far away. Sorry, guys. Mind you, there is a lot better way of doing this, and that's just to take the whole thing off. But due to me trying to put this in a video, I'm trying to make it as fast as possible. And when you do that, that's when you start making mistakes and breaking shit. So hopefully that's not the case today. Alright, so the diff cover should fall right off. It does. So there we can see what we're trying to get to. But now we got to remove. Disconnect the knuckles. We got to pull out the drive shafts to get to it. Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, it's kind of rude. If you've never done this before, it's really not bad. Worst part about it's getting the grease all over you. But if you figure out how to get this done without getting grease all over you, you're a genius. Make sure you don't lose the little tiny silver pieces. Those are, you can't, it seems like you just can't go out and buy them. So, I mean, I've found them on a couple different, well, I don't know about the Trx4m. I think the only way I've gotten more of these is by buying more axles. And unfortunately, they're not on the rear, so you have to just buy front axles. I think I bought a set of portals or something. Well, that's weird. I just looked at this thing the other day and there was no issues. And now I'm missing a lower. None of the others look loose. Oh, maybe not. Oh, my bad. For some reason I missed this top one. I knew everything was there when I put it up last time. I check these things over thoroughly every time I take them out, because with the Mias portals, you never knew what you were going to get, if it was going to be in pieces or not. Alright, so I need to put out my baby wipe. As you guys know, I love my baby wipes. Always lay one out. To put all my greasy items on. And then I always have one over here that's got my hand, I wipe my hands off. So there's that. There's those two things. Now we can reach in. We can reach in and we can pull out that. And we can pull out. Oh shoot. One more screw to remove. Watching me, you'd never believe that I ever built one of these things. A mess. If you think this is bad, you should see where what my table looked like before I cleaned it up for this little presentation. I have so many Red Cat Ascent parts all over the damn place. Alright, so there's that one. I guess you guys can't see, so there we go. So we got to get the bearings off that, the bearing off this, see if we need any shims. Which I think I need to put alright. So I guess first we'll do the pinion. All we gotta do is just take off that. Oh, come on. Should come off pretty easy, yeah. Take this time to wipe down the bearing. Then we'll get this one. Again, try and wipe down the bearing a little bit. This hasn't been used enough to have any bearing issues or any dirt. I mean, you can see these things are completely clean, other than my blue grease. And these are the Treals, and this is a 1224. So there's that. So then, this is the rear, so I need the $10.24s. I really wish I could read this to make sure I'm using the right one. Yeah. This looks like the 10. Yeah, that's the 12. Alright, so let's put our little, this bearing is not the right bearing. This bearing is the right bearing. Slide that bearing on there. And then we'll use these as to place it in properly. So there's that. And I'm going to stick my finger in there and get it all greasy, because then I'm going to put the drive shaft back on. And the reason I'm doing that is to hold this in place while I grease it. I'm trying to move it to where you guys can see it. Alright, so the pinion's hooked up to the drive shaft. It shouldn't move very much, if at all. Let's get out the good stuff. I'm going to put on my other screws. Alright, so next step is, well, I need to do what I said I was going to do. So this is my grease. I have a grease stick, as I like to call it. This is my grease stick. It allows me to take grease, it's a very fine art. So then you can just shove her in there. And just by shoving her in there and wiping it on that pinion, that's a good start for greasing your diff. Alright, so that's step one. Oh, step two is let's get the, let's set that out of the way for a second. And we stick that right down in there. And what we can do is we can go ahead and This is a mess. But we'll get it here. This is the messy part. All right, so there's that. Go ahead and put at least one of these in. Okay, so there's that side, other than the other screw. But we want to do that because we're just going to then take this side. Damn drive shaft came out. I hate that. Go. And that's all about alignment. All you gotta do is turn the axle so that it aligns properly with the portal. And then once they're aligned, it'll go right back together. So now we got the gears in there. Spins nice and freely. That's good. Good sign. Good start. And then one little final touch of grease, even though as you can see, the grease I put on the pinion is now all over the spur or the ring. I'll tell you, this is messy and difficult, but it's much easier than if you have to do it on your own car. Unfortunately for me, I have done it many times since I was racing real cars. We had ring and pinion failures. for the first year, I think. We finally got that figured out, but then we started breaking entire transmissions, so kind of wish that I didn't fix it. Alright, so now we go back to putting the diff cover back on, and we'll get all this cleaned up. And the reason I did doing this now, and you should always plan things like this, is it was dirty and I was going to clean it up, and I thought, well, why don't we just do the diffs, because I'm going to clean it out anyway. And that way I can kill two birds, one stone, not have to worry about it. Hope you can all see this. I know it's at the bottom of the camera. I'm not very centered, but you see what I'm doing, and you see how easy it is. That's the only reason I'm doing this video, is to show you guys that, you know, don't get overwhelmed by things that seem scary. Because usually, probably, I don't know, 80% of the time, it's not as hard as you think. Sometimes you find out that, yeah, you should have called a professional. But a lot of the time you find out how smart you really are and how much you can do. And those are the things that make you a better person, and make you feel better about yourself, because you're able to do things your own way without having to consult somebody. Or if you consulted somebody, at least you did it on your own. So alright, the bottom of the diff is clean, so we will now put the diff cover, I keep saying that, diff cover, but what I mean to say is skid plate. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and put this drive shaft together. It's a mess. Actually, I'll show you what I normally do. So, drive shafts are hard to get in and out and align properly. Everybody freaks out about phasing. So what I always do, I just take an end off. So I take this off, I take this out, I look to see where my drive shaft is on this end. I really need more light in here. But then I try and get it perfectly set up. And then I can put this on. Again, this is much easier to do without trying to show you guys, but I'll do it. I will do it because I'm here for you. And again, if you ever need help with your build, if you need a little guidance or a little info, just message me. I'm always here. I've always usually have good ideas to help. I'm not saying I always will, because When you get right down to it, I'm an idiot, so. Only a few more screws and we will be done with this end of the project. While I'm doing this, I just bought ordered a Team Associated RC10 clear, classic clear, that I'm going to build as a showpiece. And it's kind of like the rippers, the aluminum rippers. These are numbered, and you have to build it yourself, so that makes it fun. But you know, that's what I started out with when I was 11. I started racing the World Championship RC10. It was a car back then you had to completely build yourself. There was none of this RTR shit back in my day. Either it was junk from a box store, or it was from a hobby shop. And the RC10 was what you got at the hobby shop, and the junk is all you got anywhere else. So if you wanted a real hobby grade car or truck or whatever, you had to go to the hobby store. Of course, there was no online at that time, so man, I'm having trouble with this. There's nothing to this except my fingers are too big. Alright, so the last thing we have to do on this end is put the top screws back in the hubs with the spacers. Alright. And the last one here. Alright, so our rear is back together. We know it moves smoothly because we tested it before we put it back on the drive shaft. And obviously, once you have the drive shaft connected, it's hard to move it except for when it has wheels on it, or at least hexes. But so the rear's done. We've got the underdrive gears back here. And now, not on camera because I know how boring that was, but now I'm going to do the same thing in the front. And so I'll have underdrive in the rear, overdrive in the front, and what that'll do is pull me. So when you're going up rocks, think about it, your front wheels are going up rock. They're moving, they're pulling. So if you have the rears moving at the same speed, they're pushing. So if you lift the wheel in the front, the rears are pushing, and that's much easier to flip over that way. Much easier. So you want the front to pull you up, because pulling does not flip you over. Pushing does. So that's why you do this. You do this so these run faster than these, so that the front pulls you up the hill instead of these pushing you up the hill. I hope that makes sense to everybody. It is worthwhile to do if you're a crawler. If you're just running it around your living room, probably no big deal. If you're not crawling at all and you're just going speed, then you want to probably do the other way. You want it to push, so that when you go around corners, your rears are keeping up with your fronts, if that makes sense. But anyway, so it is, hopefully will be a better crawler now. Once I get the weight in the front, it should be a beast, but we will see. Friday, my son built an indoor course, and so Friday I am going to his house to check out his indoor course and to test this little guy. So hopefully it does what I want it to do and becomes a better crawler than stock. Next up, for Trx4ms, I'm continuing with Trx4ms, and I have Beast Mode RC looking into making me a new chassis. So as soon as I get that new chassis, I'll start ordering parts for that build. And I think that's going to be it for right now. I mean, yeah, so that's a lot of builds. So I have this that I'm still working on, trying to perfect it. I've still got the Red Cat Ascent that I'm trying to completely redo. Then I'll have the RC10 collectible car. And then I will have the Beast Mode Trx4m. So, and also keeping the upkeep on the Rift, and keep staring at the SCX6. I've yet to run it anywhere except in this room. Obviously an SCX6 should not be ran in the house because they're crazy powerful. So I think that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's a kind of long video, but I want to show you how you do it. I hope it helps. I hope somebody watches this and realizes that they can do the modification themselves, because they can. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to get busy doing the front diff on this, and I will see you next time on the Pissed Rhino Show. Later, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching.
My chick bad, my chick hood, my chick do stuff that your chick wish she could.